What if I told you that global oil shipping, an industry responsible for moving the lifeblood of modern civilization, relies not on stability, but on chaos? From wars in the Middle East to pirate attacks off the Horn of Africa, the shipping of oil thrives, not in spite of instability, but often because of it. This is the story of how disruption, danger, and disorder keep the oil tankers moving, and profits flowing. Why global oil shipping needs chaos to survive. Oil is not just a commodity, it's the foundation of modern life. It powers our cars, fuels our planes, runs our factories, and heats our homes. Every day nearly 100 million barrels of oil are consumed around the world. But that oil doesn't magically appear where it's needed. It's transported by sea, on a fleet of over 11,000 oil tankers crisscrossing the globe. Roughly 60% of the world's oil is shipped across international waters. And these sea lanes are not safe highways. They're choke points. Narrow passages like the Strait of Hormuz, the Suez Canal, and the Bab el-Mandeb. These are some of the most heavily militarized and politically unstable waterways on Earth. A single disruption, an attack, a blockade, a grounded ship, can send shockwaves through the entire global energy system. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Instability in oil shipping is profitable. When there's war or unrest, oil prices spike, but so do shipping rates. The riskier the journey, the more a tanker can charge. And that's not theory, it's historical fact. In 2019, after multiple tanker attacks in the Persian Gulf, the cost of chartering a supertanker from the Middle East to Asia jumped more than 700% in just a few days. Some ships were earning over $200,000 per day. Why? Because fewer ships were willing to enter the danger zone, and those that did demanded and received massive premiums. Insurance costs skyrocket. Fewer ships operate in conflict zones, supply drops, demand rises, prices surge. For many shipping firms, volatility isn't a bug, it's a business model. But the story doesn't stop at formal shipping. There's an entire shadow industry that feeds off chaos. Sanctions on oil-producing nations like Iran, Venezuela, and Russia have created a lucrative underground market. A shadow fleet of aging, often poorly maintained tankers now sails the high seas with their GPS transponders off, their ownership obscured, and their cargo untraceable. These ships carry sanctioned oil through ship-to-ship transfers in international waters, offload in neutral ports, or blend crude to mask its origin. The murkier the political landscape, the more valuable these gray operations become. When the formal global economy tightens, the informal one explodes. And guess who benefits? Middlemen, rogue states, and shipping operators willing to take the risk for a much bigger payday. Oil shipping is a cyclical industry, boom and bust. When times are quiet and stable, rates collapse. Tankers sit idle, companies bleed. But when there's a crisis, when sanctions hit, pipelines break, or wars block major sea routes, that's when business is booming. Look at the stock prices of companies like Frontline, TK Tankers, or Euronav during global energy disruptions. They spike, revenue soars, investors pour in. Many of these firms don't just endure chaos, they anticipate it. A well-timed conflict or embargo can turn an unprofitable quarter into a windfall. Some executives are even on record saying they prefer volatility in the market, not because they want suffering, but because unpredictability drives value in their business model. This raises an uncomfortable question. If the oil shipping industry profits most during crises, what incentive does it have to support peace, transparency, or energy reform? Of course, the industry doesn't start wars, but it doesn't exactly suffer from them either. Delays mean higher fees, reroutes mean longer charters, risk means insurance premiums, hazard pay, and inflated contracts. In a strange way, global disorder is baked into the economics of oil transportation. And while consumers see rising fuel costs, inflation, or supply shocks, shipping companies may see opportunity. So what happens as the world transitions away from oil? Fewer barrels to ship means fiercer competition, and greater incentives to squeeze profit from wherever they can. The industry may become even more reliant on high-risk cargo, unstable regions, and sanction dodging to stay afloat. If energy becomes cleaner, more local, and more predictable, the entire long-distance oil shipping business model faces collapse. In a strange twist, the cleaner the future becomes, the more the oil shipping industry may need chaos just to survive. Global oil shipping is one of the most profitable and opaque sectors in the world. It doesn't just survive turbulence, it feeds off of it. As long as the world remains dependent on oil, and as long as oil moves by sea, instability isn't just a threat. It's part of the business. because in this industry, smooth sailing is bad for business.